where the moon lights.
An excellent day for an exorcism.
I'm your number one fan.
Hey up and welcome back to the Rate Scary podcast. My name is Scary Zara Mary, and if you are new here, what I do on this podcast is do a bit of a deep dive into the different subgenres of horror, and at the moment I'm doing a deep dive into all things torture porn, and today is the first time I am doing a proper delve into a film from that subgenre. And it's nice to be joined by a guest today. And I've got my lovely friend Em with me, who is otherwise known as the Jigsaw Killer online. So, hi, Em.
Hi, it is nice to be here.
I'm so glad you've joined me because I consider you an absolute expert when it comes to Saw.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely would say that. I think about it all the time. And I'll just randomly recite something to someone and they're like, what is that? And I'm like, don't worry. But it's something from Saw typically. So it's just always in my head.
Always in your head, going round and round and round. How many times do you reckon you've seen Saw?
I've lost track because it's just something I'll put on in the background. So it's just like something that's just there in my brain. So
I get that. If someone was to ask me how many times I've seen The Exorcist, I'd have the same answer. It's like background noise at this point, just comfort film. Yep. It's there, permanently.
Yeah, no, I feel
that. Now the podcast is called Rate Scary. You are a northern bird like myself. We have seen each other at a number of events. You are a southern bird, but
I'm back down south.
Yeah.
We're kind of temporarily.
We're kind of opposite. So like I'm from the south originally, but live up north. You're in the south now.
Yeah, but I was up north for a few years. So we are like
swapping. Yeah. The premise of the podcast is to discuss all things what I consider Rate Scary from a Yorkshire bird's perspective. What is the film that has scared you the most?
Oh, well, I think, and I was talking about this the other day, the first film to actually scare me so much that I stopped watching horrors for a bit was actually Insidious.
Oh, okay.
I watched it when it first came out and I must have been like a teenager. And I just remember it was the end scene where it just zoomed in on the bride.
Yep.
I was like, I'm not coming back in the room. Like, 'cause my parents made me watch it and they were like, come back in, look at this. And I was like, no.
That's it, done.
That one freaked me out the most because I think the only thing in recent times that really freaked me out was Oddity.
Oh, God,
that one's the tent.
That was Mine was the end scene in Oddity. Shit me up. And it takes a lot, like I'm sure you'll appreciate as a horror fan, it takes a lot to scare you, and it's only really certain things, and sometimes the film really surprises you. Yeah. And you're like, oh, all right then.
That was like that bit in Odyssey with the tent. I was like, right, okay. I paused it and just sat there for a minute and I was like, this is quite scary actually.
Yeah, creepy. I'll be having some dreams tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Oh, good. Okay, Insidious. I'm trying to keep a little bit of a tally of guests that I have on the show and what films they find scariest, just to see if I can come out with one overall super scary and a bit of a ranking. So yeah, I reckon Insidious is probably going to come up a few times for sure.
It is. It holds still to this day. I think it's still quite unsettling.
It does, because how old is it now?
Was it like 2010? I want to say
must
it was
be 15 years then.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Scary.
Okay. Which is another James Wan, Lee Whannell film.
Yep.
Considering we are talking all things Saw, maybe you've just got an affinity for them two together.
The dream team.
The dream team, clearly.
Yeah. It is.
The next question that I've got for you, which I ask all of my guests, and I'm dreading having an American come on, which I will be soon, because they're not going to know what I'm on about. But what have you had, or what are you having for your tea?
See, I'm not someone who plans stuff out, so I will just find what food there is. I don't have a clue right now.
Girl dinner, is that what it's going to be?
It will probably be girl dinner. Yeah. You know what that means as well. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Girl
girl dinner.
dinner. Like some
Yeah,
crackers and a few Skittles or something. Yeah.
that's perfect. Just in your
Yeah.
hand. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's nourishment.
I think that's probably what my tea is going to be this evening. Like when I'm on my own at home, usually it's raid the cupboard and it'll be just like some crackers and a bit of cheese, and then I'll
That's good
forget to
though.
eat again for hours. So, yeah,
That's a good meal though. That is a good meal.
it is. I think that's a fair meal,
Yeah,
substantial.
absolutely.
Good stuff. Well, thank you for that. I'm sorry for throwing a couple of
Oh
random
no,
questions your way right at the beginning.
it's okay. I like that.
Well, we'll get into all things Saw now. So we've already touched on
Hmm.
Mr. Lee Wanell and Mr. James Wan, and
Hmm.
this is obviously the film that kind of started it all for them. So we'll talk about the pair of them as a writer-director duo when it comes to Saw. But I thought it'd be good first of all to try and give a bit of an overview of the story of Saw, and then we can dig into some details. Does that sound like a little bit of a plan?
Yes, that sounds great.
Amazing. Right, I'm gonna try and whiz through this because it wasn't until I actually started writing down notes about the story of Saw and I was like, oh, actually, this is a lot more complex than just two fellas chained to a
No,
bathroom
there is a
floor.
lot going on.
There is a lot going on. It creates a lot of lore, which sets up for the rest of the franchise. So interrupt me at any point if I get anything wrong or if you want to add anything. Okay.
Yep, that's fine.
Cool. Okay, so we start off. We've got Adam, who is a photographer, got quite a cold open, and he wakes up in a bathtub and his ankle is chained to a pipe. And across the room from him, we have a Dr. Lawrence Gordon. And between them, in the middle of this awful, shitty bathroom, is the corpse. It looks like a suicide victim. He's holding a gun, and he's also got a tape recorder as well. And both of the guys, Adam and Dr. Lawrence, find a tape in their pockets, and Adam manages, after a couple of attempts, to get the recorder. Now, Adam's tape basically urges him to survive, and Dr. Gordon's tape orders him to kill Adam by 6 p.m. or his wife, Alison, and his daughter, Diana, will be murdered. So we've got a dilemma. And after listening to the tapes, they uncover a clue, which leads to Adam finding a bag with 2 hacksaws, and they find it inside the toilet. Both men try and saw through the chains that are on their ankles, but unfortunately, Adam's saw breaks, and it's at this point that Dr. Gordon realizes that the saws aren't intended for their chains, and they are intended for their feet. And in the process of this, they identify that their captor is the Jigsaw Killer, who is a serial killer who tests his victims and their will to survive through various different contraptions, which he refers to as games. And Gordon knows about this because he was once a suspect. And we do a bit of a kind of 5 months prior. We see this situation where Gordon was a suspect, and he's just been discussing the terminal brain cancer of a patient, John Kramer, with his interns. And he's then interrogated by 2 detectives, David Tapp and Stephen Singh, who found his pen light at the scene of one of Jigsaw's games. So clearly he is in the frame for what has gone on. Now, Dr. Gordon's alibi clears him, but what he does agree to do is view the testimony of a heroin addict and a survivor of one of the games, Amanda Young. She is the only known survivor of one of Jigsaw's traps. She goes through a horrendous ordeal, which I'm sure we will talk about. But Tapp and Singh then find Jigsaw's warehouse using Amanda's videotape. They manage to detain Jigsaw. They manage to save a man from a trap, but Jigsaw escapes and he critically injures Tapp. Singh is killed by a shotgun trap. And then we flick back to the present. So we've got Dr. Gordon's wife and daughter. They're tied up, they're gagged in their apartment, and their captor is watching Adam and Gordon through a hidden camera. That apartment is then being watched by Detective Tapp, and he has become obsessed with finding the Jigsaw Killer. And he is absolutely convinced that Lawrence Gordon is the killer. Now, in the meantime, we cut back to the bathroom, and Gordon has found a box containing 2 cigarettes, a lighter, and a one-way cell phone. Adam asks for the cigarette, but Gordon discourages it, and he recounts his abduction in a parking lot by a pig-masked figure, to which Adam then recalls his own abduction, where he was at home and he's using his camera to try and find the person that seems to have invaded his home. Held at gunpoint, Alison then calls her husband and warns him, do not trust Adam. And he admits that to Dr. Gordon, that he was paid by TAP to spy on him, and also reveals his knowledge of Dr. Gordon's affair with one of his medical students. So Dr. Gordon realizes that the affair is the reason why he is being tested. That's what he thinks. And Adam actually finds a photo of Alison and Diana's captor, who Dr. Gordon identifies as a person called Zepp, who is an orderly at the hospital where he works. Now, Zepp has seen that Gordon has still not killed Adam, which was his whole point of being in there, so he decides to murder Alison and Diana, but Alison manages to free herself, fights him, and this struggle manages to attract the attention of Detective Tapp. And he manages to save Alison and Diana before chasing Zepp into the sewers, where he is shot in the chest after a brief fight. Now, Dr. Gordon, only aware of the gunshots and the screaming, he's shocked, but he can't reach the cell phone. So in absolute desperation, he saws off his foot and shoots Adam with the revolver. Zepp comes into the bathroom at this point to kill Gordon, but Adam, having survived the gunshot, bludgeons Zepp to death with a toilet tank lid, which is absolutely brutal. Gordon crawls out of the bathroom to try and find help, while Adam searches Zepp's body for a key to be able to release himself, but he finds another tape which reveals that Zepp was just another victim of Jigsaw and not Jigsaw himself, and he was simply following rules to be able to obtain an antidote for a slow-acting poison in his body. And it is at this point that the corpse lying in the room suddenly rises to its feet. Turns out to be John Kramer, who is the real Jigsaw Killer. And John tells Adam that the key to his chain was in the bathtub, which is where we started the film. Adam is shocked by this. He attempts to shoot John with Zepp's gun, but John electric shocks him through his chain. And at this point, we get the iconic closing of the bathroom doors with game over, leaving Adam to die. Is that a fair whiz through the story, Emily? Did I miss anything?
No, I think that was pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty much what happens.
Thanks. Yeah. I try and capture as much detail as possible. Like I said, I think on the surface, you think of the first Saw film as, oh, it's two guys in a bathroom. But actually, there's all of these different other elements that does set up the rest of the franchise, which I don't think was done intentionally at the time. But it created a whole load of lore for the rest of the many films that followed, and is why we are Saw fans today. So, when did you first see Saw?
I was in school, and I shouldn't have been watching it. Like, my mum was like, "You can't watch anything 18. You can watch 15s." But my friend had them, and we watched them at a sleepover. And ever since then, I was just like, I don't know what it was. It just got stuck in my brain. And I was like, I'm going to just watch this forever. And it was just, I don't know. I just thought there was something really special about it.
Yeah.
I can't explain it, but it was just like, this is special. I don't know what it is, but it is.
Something. See, I had, my dad used to go to the cinema like a couple of times a week. It's where I get my kind of film obsession from. Yeah. And he went to see Saw at the cinema and immediately came home, and I wasn't old enough to see it, but he was like, look, as soon as this is available for me to bring home and for you to watch, you are absolutely watching it because you will love it. And he was absolutely correct. And my dad's not a horror fan. He went into it because of like, we can talk about this, like, Saw fits into torture porn, which is why I'm talking about it as part of this subgenre. But actually, the first Saw film isn't really, it's not gory, it's not heavy on torture. We do get torture scenes.
But it cuts away a lot of it, doesn't it?
Like, yeah, it does. like we don't physically really see Dr. Gordon's amputated foot.
No.
We see elements of the different torture scenes, but obviously Amanda survives her trap. So it's not like we see the bear trap, the reverse bear trap going off or anything. It's not horrific. It's not super gory like the rest of the franchise kind of ends up being.
Yeah. I think for at the time it was like considered something special, wasn't it? Like no one had done something like this kind of thing.
Yeah. It was that mystery kind of thrillery crime. I put it on a level with like Seven.
Yes.
That kind of same sort of feeling. And I think a lot of the attraction that people had with the film as well was, I mean, the twist at the end was the biggest thing. I was talking to my sister about this on the episode that we did with like going through all of the Saw traps. As a Saw fan, you never forget that first time with John Kramer saying, like, with the music, with Hello Zepp going, and him saying game over and slamming that door shut.
Yeah.
Oh, I still get goosebumps when I watch it today. And I think most people had that same feeling when they saw Saw for the first time. Was it the same for you?
Yeah, it's just, like you said, it's when the music kicks in, when you find out it's not Zepp and you're like, and it's just the shot, isn't it, with Adam's face and then the body just standing up and you're like, oh, well, because no one would have guessed it at the time, would you? Because they really heavy that this guy is dead. And you're just like, of course, why wouldn't it be?
I know.
So, it's just a great reveal.
Just brilliant. It is a fantastic reveal. And it's the fact that it comes right at the very end and we get really no other explanation. Because sometimes in a film with a twist, you'll get it maybe 2/3 of the way through and then you'll get some storyline afterwards. Whereas this, the twist is bang at the end and then it finishes and you're like, right, I've got to go home now and live a normal life.
Yeah, they literally don't explain. They do like the little flashbacks being like, this was his patient, but there's like no reason for it. They're just like, he just stood up and left.
Yeah,
great.
Bye then. Thanks.
Yeah. And I'd argue that they don't even really explain it in the second one either.
No.
They're just like, he's just here.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay.
I know. Bless him, John Kramer. Ooh, he's a little scamp, isn't he? Setting up all these traps. What is it for you about Saw? Because you're not just a fan of the first one, even though we are talking about the first one now. Like, you are a fan of the entire franchise. Like, I see you as a super fan. Like, when I think of you, there's 3 films that I associate with you. I mean, one is the Saw franchise. Number 2 is the Reanimator franchise. And number 3 is The Fly.
Yes.
Like,
big 3.
they're the 3, but Saw is always like number 1 for me, thinking of you. So what is it about the franchise for you?
You know what? I think it's just because there's a lot of media with it. So there's a lot to like think about. And I think a lot of the characters are like, I know there's a lot of debate of like, are they well written? But I think they do, because there's so much content. There's a lot to just go into.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of movies to watch. Like, there's something for everyone, I would say, like, depending on what characters you like the most. There is literally something for everyone. And it's just, I don't know. Everyone was like, we get bored of the reveals. I don't. I think they're all great.
Agree.
Yeah, they're all really good. So, I don't know. I think it was just something that I could really, like, get obsessed with. And then it just kind of never went away.
And have you got a favourite and a least favourite in the franchise?
My favourite is Hoffman.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love him. Least favourite, I don't, as in like main characters.
Yeah, you know, like all the people that get put through the test, I suppose, as we go later on into the franchise.
I think Ivan is one to say, because he was awful.
Okay, fair.
But
yeah.
I also really disliked Logan and Jigsaw. I really hated that.
I love Jigsaw the film. It's one of my favourites, but I hate Logan.
Yeah.
You just find him really frustrating and jarring. And also, I don't like Bobby, but I like the premise of Bobby and the fact that he's a fraud, and that's why he's been that's why he's put through the test.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's what I mean. They're all like kind of complicated, aren't they? So it's
and it's just like it grows arms and legs, this franchise as well, doesn't it? From what stems from a very simple premise of mostly a one location film. Like, we do get some scenes outside of that bathroom.
Yeah.
But to go from that to then 10 films, should have been 11. But still 20 years later, like, I'm inviting you onto a podcast to talk about the very first film, just shows how good it is, I think.
No, I think it has stood the test of time, really. Considering it had like no budget either, didn't it? It was like
Yeah, I read
really low
that.
budget, but I think it
Yeah,
was really successful.
because didn't it start off as a short that
Yeah.
Juan and Wanel created,
hmm And I
which,
think they got flown out to America
yes,
for the producers, and they're the ones who have worked with them the entire time, I think.
it's that Twisted Pictures.
Yeah, and then it was the two guys, isn't it? I can't remember their names, but I
No.
know that they're involved still.
Yeah, because I think they viewed the short, didn't they, and were like, we are in. Yeah, absolutely. And that's essentially what ended up getting Lionsgate on board as well.
Yeah.
Kind of all stems from there. So yeah, it just seems bananas that 20 years later and all of these millions and millions of pounds has come from the brains of Lee Whannell and James Wan, and just creating a short, which is why it's so important to watch horror shorts, as a complete aside, and support indie filmmakers. But that's another story for another time. What do you think to the cinematography that's in the film? Because I talked about this in my first torture porn episode. Like, torture porn isn't just about the torture, it's about how it looks and feels, like that grimy, gritty feel to it, and also all of these flashing images. Like, I think Amanda's Test is a great example of fantastic cinematography and editing in this film. Like,
I think it's good because they also do it in the two other ones, doesn't it? In the flammable jelly and the razor wire.
Yeah.
And I think it has a look to it, because when you think of that now, you think of Saw. Like,
yes, that manicness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be out of control. But I think that maybe it must be like on purpose for like that feeling, like you said, the out of control feeling, because that's kind of probably how it feels.
Yeah, like just that complete mania of if you were in that situation. Like, I love Amanda's scene in particular, because she's like holding onto her head and moving it around in such a way that makes you think, oh my god, I would be the same. Just completely beside myself. And also, like, 60 seconds to get that fucker off your head. Like,
yeah. And she wastes a lot of that time just sitting there
and considering what to do. Meanwhile, fella's on the floor with a question mark on his tummy. Get it out. Exactly. So in Saw, if we're going to talk about the traps, I suppose, while we're talking about Amanda, we've essentially got, I consider, like 4 main traps. You've got the bathroom scene.
Yep.
You've got Amanda's Test. You've got flammable jelly, and you've got the razor wire. Kind of ignoring what happens to Tap and Sing in their situation. Yeah. Which out of those 4 do you think you'd survive?
Right, so I've heard that the flammable jelly, it was the same codes repeated.
Oh, okay.
So if you look at it, apparently it's not random numbers, it's like the same code. But then I think, kind of a shit situation. Probably wouldn't want to be on the glass. I don't know. It depends as well with like the bathroom trap, what side you're on.
Yeah, fair.
Because if you're the Lawrence Gaunt side, all you have to do is shoot.
Yes.
Seems simple enough. I've never shot anyone or shot a gun, so I wouldn't.
No, same.
But I don't know. I think out of all of those, I think it would have to be probably flammable jelly.
Yeah, I mean, I always forget about the broken glass on the floor as well, which adds another layer to it, doesn't it? So
and he's just in his underwear.
Yeah, in his panties with a candle. But I'd never clocked about the code, so it's just a pattern then of numbers.
I think that's what someone said to me. If you look at it, it's like a repeating code, so it would, if he spent enough time not panicking, but that's obviously very difficult.
Yeah,
you would notice it, but
it's
a lot easier to say.
I'm just gonna have to go back and watch it again now.
Yeah.
What a shame.
No. It's not massively long either, is it? So it's
no. Yeah. Oh, I'm going to look out for that then. Do you think you'd get out of Amanda's situation?
I think that is also, compared to like the razor wire, I would say that one would have been fairly easy because she was tricked into believing that that guy was dead.
Yes.
Which, if you're believing what you are being told, yes, you would just crack
Yeah,
on with it.
crack on.
But I think as well, like, I don't think they talk enough about the fact that when you pull it out, it's hooked into your jaw.
Yes,
Like, that would
because she
hurt.
has scars. Like
Yeah,
she is marked when she's talking to Detective Tapp and Singh.
yeah. So that
Yeah,
must
that's a
hurt, but
really
I
good
guess you're not
point.
thinking about it.
No, you're just
Like,
thinking about getting the thing off your head, aren't you? So before it snaps open.
yeah, no, that. I think that one would probably be another doable one because I think they get a bit more ridiculous as they go on.
Well, it's one of the ones as well where you're committing harm on someone else rather than your like a form of self-mutilation in order to get out of a trap, because I think the further into the franchise you go, the more it's about lob that limb off and pull that hook out of there and
Yeah.
like set off a pipe bomb and it's like slit your
Yeah.
eyeballs open. Whereas I
Cut your
think
brain out.
yeah, exactly. Oh god, yeah, don't even like lob your leg off and pull a load of fluid out of it in 3
Ugh,
minutes. It just
yeah, insane.
my sister has just watched all of the Saw films for the very first time. So she's totally new to the franchise, and she said Saw X most brutal in terms of traps. Like,
Yeah, I think it's the most unwinnable.
oh, completely.
Because who's gonna? I think about it, like everyone was like the brain one's overrated, like it's insane, and I was like, that is insane. Actually, thinking about it, like
Sometimes I can't straighten the back of my hair because I can't figure out like what I'm doing. Never mind using my hands up here to cut a piece of brain out. And what if you
Yeah.
cut a piece out that affects your motor function?
yeah, that's it. I don't know brains.
No, I'd lose my eyesight, or I'd lose loss of my hands or something. We're like, oh, sod's law, out of all the pieces of brain I could have cut out, I've lost the one with my hands. So, like, you just have no clue. So, yeah, he went brutal considering Saw X is set in between 1 and 2. He's gone. Them ones were a bit too easy. Let's ramp it up a bit.
Yeah, I just thought it was a bit crazy. The jump.
Jeez. Yeah, massive jump. I tell you what, let's talk about some of the characters then, because we've touched on a couple of them. So if we start with our lead cast, I'll start with someone actually who I didn't include on the show notes, but should be talked about, but he's barely in it. Tobin Bell as John Kramer.
Yeah.
Like, what an icon.
Yeah, well, the fun fact I always think about this is the guy that's in the razor wire was originally asked to be John Kramer, but he didn't want to have that screen time where you're on the floor.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, the guy that I think his name's Paul, isn't it, in the razor wire?
Yeah.
Yeah, he like was asked for that role and he said no because he's not doing anything. And what a choice, because look how far Tobin's come.
Mugged himself off there. He could have had the iconic piranha line, but no.
That's fine. But yeah, I think Tobin, even though he's on the floor for a lot of it, like in the few scenes he's in, like you don't really realise, do you? Because he's mysterious at the time. But when he's in the hideout, you know, that's a good bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
no,
his voice as
Yeah.
well. He's got such a unique voice, Tobin Bell, which I think in part is what landed him the role, isn't it, in the end? Like, there's no mistaking Tobin Bell's voice as
I
Jigsaw.
don't think you could ever recast him.
No.
There wouldn't be another Jigsaw, I think. Like, you can't.
Oh, I really hope not.
Please don't. Blumhouse, please.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing, isn't it? Because bless him, Tobin, he is getting on a bit now, or quite a
Yeah.
lot. He has been doing the films. I mean, the first film came out 20 years ago. He hasn't been in all of them.
Yeah.
But he always gets asked. He's always a name that comes up about conventions. Like, guy doesn't travel as much, does he? So if it is going to be sold off to someone like Blumhouse, we're just going to have to hope and pray that they don't go down the route of completely recasting John Kramer. Or
Very
doing like a young John Kramer. We've already had young John Kramer with the backwards baseball cap.
Just do that. Just keep doing that.
Yeah. Oh dear. How about Lee Winnell then as Adam?
I love Lee Winnell.
No.
And what I like about it is his acting may not be 100%, but he gives it his all. But I really like him. I want to see him in more acting roles. I know he doesn't do as much now because he does writing and directing, but I really like the character of Adam. He used to be like my favourite. So I've always been a fan.
I agree. Like I love him in this, even though his acting is a little bit hokey. I don't care.
No.
I love the character. And I love how he's such a contrast to Dr. Lawrence as well, and often winds Dr. Lawrence Gordon up. And if I'm honest, I'm not a big Kerry Elwes fan. So Kerry Elwes plays Dr. Lawrence, doesn't he? I love the character of Dr. Lawrence, but I'm not a huge fan of Kerry Elwes in general. I do prefer Adam.
Yeah, me too. It's always been that way.
Yeah, completely. And I just love that, like, Adam, he's a bit of a rogue, like he's a bit cheeky. He's
idea what's going on.
Yeah, exactly. And he's in the really unfortunate position in this situation as well.
Yeah. How does he win?
Exactly. How does he win?
Because he's locked in there and
That's it. Yeah, you're just at the mercy of well, you're not even at the mercy of someone else. Like, either way, you're going to die, aren't you? Either Dr. Lawrence kills you or Zapp's going to kill you. So might as well give him the cigarette and let him crack on.
Yeah.
Do you buy into the theory of Adam still being alive?
I would like to be that delusional enough, but I think they really did go, Adam is dead.
Yes.
When they did the Saw 3 one, because they're like, Adam has died.
Done.
Because how would you get out of that? You wouldn't.
No.
You wouldn't. But I would like to see him come back, but I just think it's gone past that. Now, I don't think we can bring Lee Winnell back. No.
Like you said, like, because he's so into his directing now, like he's done Wolfman, hasn't he, earlier this year? And Invisible Man previously. He just seems to be on a roll with those types of films and doing a decent job of them. So I don't know why he wouldn't continue that. So
no. Well, there's that famous Lee Winnell tweet where someone asked him, "Do you know who Mark Hoffman is yet?" And he just says, "I need you guys to stop asking me this. I don't know who the fuck Mark Hoffman is." And it's one of my favourite tweets from him. Because after the third film, he just left. He was like,
yes.
I don't care.
I'm out. Bye. Yep. Oh dear. Oh, bless Lee Winnell.
Yeah.
Bless Lee Winnell. Someone else to talk about is Shawnee Smith as Amanda. Oh,
I love her.
We love Shawnee.
I think all of her performances of Amanda are fantastic. Even in like the latest one, she's still got it. Like, she is that character. It's a bit like Tobin, how I don't think you could replace her.
No, I agree.
She
is one of my favourite characters throughout the entire franchise because she gets put through the fucking ringer by... Exactly. Like, we've got her test in Saw 1. She's in the house in Saw 2. Then we realise that Saw 3 is essentially her test.
Yep.
Like, and then she's got the emotional turmoil of Saw X, which we know is set between 1 and 2. But
she doesn't get put in the blood board. She was meant to.
She was meant to. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What is John Kramer playing at? This poor woman. She was an addict. She needed help.
Yeah.
She did not need putting through that. Yeah. Ridiculous.
No. Yeah, no, I think she's wonderful.
Did you meet her for the Love of Horror?
Yeah.
How was it?
She was just so lovely. She was just complimenting my outfit. And she's like shorter than me and I'm 5'1".
Oh, is she? She's
like,
stinky.
Yeah, she's really small, but she's just so lovely. And it's just like, I wouldn't want anyone to replace her.
No. Did Did you have photos with her? Did you get an autograph?
I did
Like, what
both.
was the situation? Did
I did
you?
I did the auto, and then I did the table photos, and then the duo with her and Dinah,
Yes. Oh,
because
amazing.
she's also lovely. Because she is
Oh,
in Saw 1 as well.
briefly. Yeah.
Yes, she does start in 1.
Yeah. Which most people think it's later on, but she is in there, isn't she?
Yeah, she's
So,
from 1 to 3, so she's been in the original trilogy.
blimey. Oh,
Yeah.
that's so nice
Yeah.
that you got to meet her. I saw loads and loads of video clips of her, and she just seems like such a bundle of energy, like
Hmm.
complete, not a mad woman, but just so passionate about doing
Yeah.
these conventions and meeting the fans and talking about the films.
Which I think is
Like,
important, because there's some people who you do meet at cons and they just feel a bit over it. And it's
mm,
like, okay. But she is not one of them.
so for anyone wanting to meet their hero, Amanda Young, Shawnee
Yeah,
Smith,
do it.
definitely do it then.
I would do it
Oh,
again.
oh, good. Well, hopefully she comes back. Like, I'm not a big one for meeting guests. I'm quite selective, only because I get so anxious and I don't know
Mm.
what to say to them. So I don't want to embarrass myself.
Yeah,
But I think hearing all of the lovely things that people have had to say about Shawnee Smith, if she came back, I
definitely.
would want to meet her. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, what a cutie.
she's lovely.
A couple of other people that we've got in the film then. We've got Danny Glover as
Oh,
Detective Tapp and Ken Leung as Detective Singh. This dynamic duo as our
I think they
detectives.
work really well.
I
I
agree.
think they work really well. When I first watched it, because I was so young, I had no idea who like Danny Glover was. But then when I
Yeah.
found out, oh, this guy's actually like been in
Legit.
stuff. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I thought they were both great, and like, I think it works with the coupling of like the duo of like Adam and Lawrence compared to these two, and those two clearly
Yes.
work better in a team, and it
Yes.
shows.
And I think this is where it's got kind of similar Seven vibes, where you've got like the rookie paired with the older guy who's been
Yeah,
there, done that. And the younger guy just wants to go grab drinks, but the older guy's staying behind and looking at the tapes, and he's the one who cracked case. And like, I just love that dynamic between the two of them.
yeah, and it's believable as well. Like, they just seem like good guys.
Yeah,
Work
exactly.
together.
Yeah, they just want to do a good job and they're
Yeah,
suspicious of everyone. So, as they should be.
exactly. Everyone's a suspect.
Good. Yeah, too right. Well, everyone should be a suspect based on where the franchise goes. Like, everyone's a
Because
bloody
Lawrence
suspect.
literally does.
Yeah, everyone gets involved. Everyone's an apprentice.
Oh, yeah, they do.
Oh dear. Lee Winnell and James Wan then
Yeah,
as a writer director duo. You've talked about Insidious, like they're obviously massively successful and like coming up with this screenplay that they've written and like deciding to do a film as cheaply as possible by having two people in a room essentially.
yeah.
Like where if you were to get Lee Winnell and James Wan to team up again and create another film, what sort of film would you want them to create?
Oh, well, they've done like we've seen them do a ghost story, which was really good, and we've
Yeah,
seen them do this. I think a sci-fi one, like a,
great
a
shout.
horror sci-fi, like maybe like Alien. You know what I mean?
Ooh,
Something. I think they could really do that quite well.
yeah.
I think because they've not done that.
No, I was thinking like slasher kind of
Oh,
route.
that would be good. Yeah, like a classic slasher, like
Yeah,
yeah,
because I really want like I quite like slashers. It's not my favorite subgenre.
yep,
I think my beef with slashers is it tends to have a bit of a comedic element or a bit of a whodunit element,
yeah,
and I would love to see a really brutal, gritty slasher, like
mm,
just almost like the first Terrifier film was, where there's no rhyme or reason. It's just a
no,
bad guy killing people.
yeah.
I think based on like the grittiness of Saw, they could probably deliver
I think they
on
could.
like yeah that
Yeah, that would be a really good one, because they're capable of doing, like you said, the gore and like the gritty feel. Which, why not?
exactly.
Yeah, that
We'll
would be
see
good.
if you're listening, James Wan, Lee Winnell, which I'm sure you're not, but if you are, please can you make a gritty slasher? That would be lovely. Anything else you want to discuss from this first Saw film? Like, what's some of the stuff that you really love about this that you would want to mention?
I think one of the things that's quite funny is Billy the Puppet's barely in this film, but became
True.
such an icon. He literally is only in, because he's not in the bathroom,
No. He's
and
on the
he's
TV, isn't he?
in Amanda's, yeah.
Yeah.
I think they play one back, and he's in the lair, but that's it. He's barely in it, but he became such like an icon.
He is like, I think a lot of people who aren't familiar with the franchise, when they hear Jigsaw, they go,
He's sentient.
yeah, they think it's him doing the killing, which maybe that should be a spin-off that Blumhouse do, is Billy has become sentient and he's gone on a rampage.
Yeah. No, that is something I always think is quite funny because he's barely in it, but he was like the face
Yeah.
and became so recognisable.
Right, Billy. Billy's been posting about the potential for Saw 11 and giving us
Got a job again.
this tiny bit of hope that we will get something.
Yeah.
What would you want to see from Saw 11 or the future of Saw?
Well, I was told that 11 was going to continue directly where 10 ended.
Mm.
And that could work. And I was interested in that because it would have had Kevin writing again.
Yes.
The directing, wasn't it? And I've loved his ones. Like 6 is one of my favourites.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I just think if they could continue with that, like following on, because 10 was arguably one of the best movies they've done.
Yeah, agree.
So I don't know where it would go, but it was something I'd want to see. So
I
want them to
agree.
continue that.
And considering like we've had 10 films,
Yeah.
it still feels like there's so much story that can slot in between those films. That's what I liked about 10, is that it's in between 1 and 2. And even then it still feels like there's some storyline to fit in before we get to 2.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like,
The big jump.
It seems like such a missed opportunity that we might not potentially get that.
I'm holding out hope.
I'm keeping everything crossed that
Yeah.
we get something.
Hopefully everyone can just work out their differences.
Yeah, please, just be friends and just give the fans what they want, please.
Yeah. I don't want another Spiral.
Oh God, no. Oh my God. Like I almost don't count Spiral as part of the franchise. It's just
fair.
yeah, I was talking the other day about the fact that I collect physical media and I've got all of the Saw films except Spiral.
That's completely
And, like it's not even an active choice. I just haven't come across it yet. And I think
okay.
the only way I would add it to the collection is if it was a quid in CEX and I'd go, do you know what, to complete the collection, fine, I'll get it. But it wouldn't be an active choice to add it.
No.
I'm not gonna buy it purposely.
No.
So never mind. We'll park that and hope that we don't get any more Spirals. Please,
Yes.
Blumhouse or whoever else is going to be picking this up.
Please don't.
No. Anything else that you want to finish on with regards to Saw?
I think we've touched on a lot of it. I think I've said a lot of stuff that I'm happy with.
Good. And if people want to come and chat all things Saw franchise, all things Detective Hoffman, anything like that, where can people find you online?
I'm on Instagram and TikTok as the Jigsaw Killer, but then with an underscore at the end because there's an inactive account with the full name, and I don't.
Fair enough. Hopefully one day you can get hold of that. I love your username. I think it's so cool. So cool.
15.
Really?
Yeah, that's how I started my online presence because of this film.
Oh my God.
I know, there's lore.
There we go then. So if you want absolute Saw lore, go and follow _ the Jigsaw Killer online and you can chat all things Saw. And I'll tell you now, you get many, many Saw memes, which I appreciate on a regular basis. They keep me chuckling. Any chance that I get to see Detective Hoffman tied up and gagged on a regular basis, is going to be sharing it.
Yeah, it's good scenes. Good scenes.
Good. And you might also catch at a convention.
Oh,
you going to some conventions this year?
The only one I have planned is the Manchester one, the For the Love of Horror.
For the Love of Horror.
Yeah.
Amazing. I will see you there. And if you're not there, you're usually at a theme park
Oh yes, I do like theme parks. I'm there a lot. Yeah, because there's
Or
the
a
Saw
scare
ride.
event. Exactly. There you go. I love your pictures with the Saw ride.
I just go there and take photos with it.
And you do scare events as well.
And,
We've seen
yeah.
each other at Doncaster Fear Factory.
I love Doncaster.
There
It's
you
so
go
good.
then. Many reasons to go and follow Em, so please do so if you are not already. If you want to follow me on social media, I am at Rate Scary on YouTube and Instagram, and at Scary Zara Mary on TikTok, Instagram, Blue Sky, Threads, and Letterboxd. But for now, I will leave it there. Thank you so much for joining me, Em. It's been an absolute pleasure having you come on and talk all things Saw. I will be discussing body horror at some point, which means Reanimator and The Fly.
Both
I
of
fully
them.
expect you back on here to talk about both of those films as the
Wonderful.
expert for those. Yes. Amazing.
Thank you.
But for now, see thee with this end. I'll see thee soon.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
I guess everyone's entitled to one good scare, huh?
I'll be right back.
Game over.
It's all for you!
Beware the moonlights.
An excellent day for an exorcism.
I'm your number one fan.